Alright. Excuse me. And let's get back to this. Well, I sure am lucky getting invited on board upon the group to carry out exclusive interviews. So many interesting people in one place. Ellie, Theo, Lisa, and even Emma of the Hexen clan. I didn't get a chance the other day in Crossbell, so let me say this now. Ahem. This has gotta be fate. Adios must have guided me here to interview you all. What do you say? Maybe later, if it doesn't take too long. Sorry, but I prefer if you kept me out of the papers. Ever the keen journalist, Grace. You should be aware of this, but you won't be allowed to publish anything about this meeting in the foreseeable future. What about the freedom of the press? Just kidding. Understand that being invited to this top secret get together is a great privilege, and I won't be able to write about it for a while. But once international relations become somewhat normalized, maybe I'll get the green light to publish a special report on this. After all, my duty as a journalist is to observe and document important events. That's definitely an important role. That's a sensible approach to take. I will take everything she says with a grain of salt. You're hoping the materials you collect here will win you the Pulitzer Prize, aren't you? Anyway, there's no harm in it, is there? I missed my chance last year, the year before. That's Grace, a journalist working in Crossbow. Whatever her reason, she must have impressed the right people to be allowed here. Aha, the man of the hour. Rain Schwarzer, will you agree to an interview? I'm not at liberty to talk about a lot of things. Grace, you're putting him on the spot. She's very single-minded about interviewing people, but she's a nice person. Ooh, you're not help at all, Theo. Reen, you look just like Grace walking around and sniffing around. Well, it's not like I'm not curious about the meeting. By the way, I was surprised Vita didn't show up. Me too. She left the bar and vanished somewhere. It worries me a little. Yeah, it's kind of suspicious, huh? You're nervous she's plotting something? I don't mean to sound ungrateful since she's helped us numerous times, but Vita is known to pursue pretty questionable goals. I think we should give her the benefit of the doubt. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty, right? Thanks, Reen. If only the same could be said of my mother. Chairman Irina? Well, she's raised a wonderful daughter. There's no way she could be a bad person. Oh, thanks. That was nice of you. Do I sense a scoop? Why is the Ashen Chevalier so sweet to you? Are you perhaps in a relationship? Grace, control yourself. Sorry. You can tell her off any number of times, she goes back to her MO right away. This coffee is excellent. Yeah, and the biscuits are great. They're Ramphira's specialties. I'm glad they're to your liking. Afternoon coffee and biscuits. What a wonderful custom. I could get used to this. So true. I was worried that you'd be pretty unapproachable since you're the Grand Prince's secretary. I was surprised to learn you're not that much older than us though. You're really young for your position. My situation is quite different. I'm close friends with Princess Alfin. I've been appointed especially for this occasion. My family is quite well known in Ramaferia. You might have heard of the Ceylons. Let me think. Ceylon. Where have I heard that name before? The Ceylon company produces medical equipment shipped worldwide. Ramaphosa is famous for being at the forefront of medical research, which becomes a bartering chip in relations with other nations. Bartering chip. The Ceylon family, besides owning a prosperous medical company, has strong connections in government. You've done your homework. The current state of affairs is deeply worrying for Ramaphosa. Our country is small and relies on advanced technology and scientific research to remain afloat. We're not prepared to deal with this war in the least. I understand your predicament. I wish there was something we could do to help. Well, let's see how these talks go first. I was wondering what her special secretary position was all about. She's very good with words though. It's easy to see things from her perspective, and she encourages others to side with her. The grandparents made the right choice in appointing her. That's it? Alright. Ah, 2 hoops. I never dreamed I'd be in the presence of the President of Calvert and the Grand Prince of Ramaphosa. Crown Prince Claudia and Lieutenant General Cassius are here too. Man, this place is crammed top to bottom with bigwigs. Me, on the other hand, I'm just some smuck with an airship. What am I doing here, mingling with them? What's the problem? You're great at mingling. And besides, you've been helping out Lloyd and Reen a bunch. No reason for you to not be here. By the way, thanks for helping me and Agate cross the border into the Empire. Things would have been way harder without you. Tita, I told you that was no big deal. You saved my bacon too in Heimdall. Seems like Kappa Delivery Service is always there to help when we're in a pinch. Your services are a lifeline for the guild too. Everyone's very thankful to have you guys around. You don't work for Jaegers and you stay away from shady business. That counts in your favor too. Look, it's a business. We have to do what we have to in order to turn a profit. Ooh, she's blushing. Ooh. You guys, stop it. You really like teasing, huh? Don't worry, it's friendly teasing. Leaves, as well as the branch campus, used to be with Kapua, within Kapua, but the Kapua binary. Byrony. The members of Kapua Delivery Service used to be sky bandits, but they seem like decent people. Barony. Hey Reed. You're quite the social butterfly today. Just making sure I get to talk to everyone. Cassius is next on my list. Makes sense since you both studied with Master Kafar after all. If I'm being honest, I'm not really sure why he and Chloe agreed to come all the way here. And I don't know what to think about this Duchess Cayenne. The whole meeting is giving me some bad vibes. Misa is not a bad person, I promise. I can only imagine she must have been planning this for a while. She tries not to show it, but the situation in the Empire was probably bothering her a lot. You noticed it too, didn't you, Instructor? Yeah, I did. But from what I've heard, Yuna saw right through her when they met back up.
Sure, you may also be a genius who can come up with plans to change the fate of the world, but that's beside the point. There's no way an ordinary girl like you would be okay with a plan that would cost millions of people their lives, is there?
Her mask fell off. She's only 16 too, even younger than Fee. I've heard this and that about the Cayenne family. The Duke before the last was widely believed to be a just and wise noble. When he died in an accident, his younger brother inherited the title, but all he cared about was his personal interests. Mrs. Foolish uncle even stirred up the civil war, and their family was about to be stripped of all that. And yet, here we are with Misa as the mastermind behind the plan to save the world. I think I can empathize with her more after hearing that. Yeah, me too. Judging from what I've heard, it's no surprise she understands. There's no telling how these talks will go until they're over and done with. But regardless of what major events are set in motion, we must not forget about the individuals that will be swept up. Misha is one of those individuals, so do me a favor and stay by her side. I doubt you need me to tell you that though. You really are amazing. Huh? You really just say what you think without beating around the bush, huh? I see now why Tita compares you to the sun. You're bright, and you dispel any shadows of doubt in others. Thanks for the advice. That was my intention all along, but I needed the kick to get around to it. Glad to help. Good luck. Thanks. I have another. Okay. Oh, Steph, there's something I've been dying to know. You and Joshua are together, right? But how far exactly have you guys gone? Huh? That's out of the blue. Don't try to wiggle out of it now. I'm burning with curiosity too. You wouldn't have tried to dodge a question unless... Oh. Why are you all bugging me about it? Bugging me, sorry. I can't tell you when Reen's right there. What if he hears? Looks like they're talking about something personal. I don't want to be a third wheel. I'd better go. Hey Kurt and Ash, good to see you again. Happy to have your instructor back? Yes, very much so. It was only possible thanks to everyone's help. Agate was pretty impressed with that sword of his. Really see where he got the name, Heavy Blade. Those two aren't bad either. I might have taken a couple swings, but I was just one of many taking part in Operation Bust Train Out. Same goes to me and Kia. Maybe our timing was lucky, but credit goes to everyone equally. Joshua, Ash, don't the two of you have something important to talk about? Ren? She's right, don't put it off. Everything's going to shift right now. There's no guarantee you'll be able to see each other again. Yes, you should sort things out now. There's no denying that Rackle has become home to you, Ash. But I'm sure there's value in learning about the place that led you there. Hamel was just a small village. It had no more than a few dozen inhabitants. As a result, there were very few children living there. Liu was the oldest, and at 16 my sister Karen was 15. But there was another boy too. He was 3 years old. Huh? He was too young to play with us much. But ever since he was a baby, we looked after him. I was looking forward to playing with him when he was a little older. He was almost like a little brother to me. But then those peaceful days abruptly ended. A group of Eva dropouts posing as the Royal Army opened fire on the villagers. I watched as Jan and Emilia were shot. There was blood everywhere. Their son fell to the ground, blood all over his clothes. We fled. We ran and ran, too afraid to look back. Survival was the only thing on our minds. That boy didn't die though. He had merely fainted from shock. We had no idea. Eventually we made it out of the village. Louis stayed behind to distract our pursuers. He told me and Karen to keep going. But we got ambushed by another group of Jaeger dropouts. Joshua? That's truly heart-wrenching. I've heard it before, but it gets me every time. That's what happened 14 years ago. At least that's how I remember it. That boy we left behind might have a different perspective on the events of that day. He may have hated us for escaping without him, and I can't blame him. The bullet you fired at Emperor Eugen should have been for me. Joshua. It's alright, Ren. It was a shock when I heard about what happened in Heimdall. I realized the burden that boy from Hamel had to live with. But even though I felt immense guilt that we hadn't checked to see if he was alive, that we hadn't taken him with us, there was another feeling too. Overwhelming joy. I can't say how happy it made me when I found out he had survived. Joshua, thanks for being patient and listening to this story of mine. Don't know why you'd bother telling me when it's got nothing to do with me, but it wasn't entirely boring. I managed to stay awake till the end. Ash. Glad to hear it. Thanks, Ash. The Hamel tragedy took place about the same time I was first taken to Ymir. I'm glad Ash was able to hear Joshua's story. I got some notes. Oh, I didn't notice you were there, instructor. Hey, Rin. Dude, you dropped much? Sorry about that. But the same event Joshua was talking about pretty much changed the course of my life too. So it's at least a little relevant to me. Why so defensive, Ash? I thought you said Joshua's story had nothing to do with you. She's got you there. Whatever. Screw all that old drama. We got plenty of new drama we could talk about instead. For example, what's going on with you and Russell, huh? The hell are you talking about? Huh? Oh, why don't you share with the rest of the class? Ren, it's not like that. Damn, you can't even see what's right in front of your face, old man. We all know what's going on. It's obvious to anyone with half a brain. Who are you calling old, you little brat? I'm only 28. Why are we even talking about this? That's a very Ash way to change the topic. He used to be such a crybaby. I'm glad Adios kept him safe. No, not just her. Thanks to a number of kind-hearted people. Yeah, thanks for sharing that story with us, Joshua. Of course, thank you as well, Reen, for all you've done for him. Whoa. There you are, Reen. Steadily working your way through the crowd, chatting everyone up. Are you going to talk to Kalia too? If that's okay, Special Second Lieutenant Kayla. Yes, you may speak with me at a time without reservation, at any time without asking for you. I'm grateful for your help the other day, and I had a feeling you guessed who I was right at the start. I had my suspicions. It seems I interrupted your conversation. What was it about? We were just touching upon recent internal affairs in Calvert. I'm not sure what you might have heard about the situation there. The ruling party lost to the opposition in the recent elections. Once President Rocksmith's term ends, he'll be forced to step down. So your entire government is being swapped out. That's a drastic change. The country is already in a crisis, but there's also been acts of terrorism carried out by the anti-immigration faction. I see. Immigration is a very divisive issue in the Republic. With each passing day, it's becoming more apparent how weak our country is. I expect our leaders to announce a new course of action after today's discussion. Thank you. I have a handle on Calvert's situation now. Despite her young age, Kayla is remarkably sharp. By the way, it's so good to see you again, Kayla. How's Killer Carbat been doing? As well as ever, she's one eye and... you make it sound as though a long time has passed since you were in Calvert. Angelica, not Killer, is she who I think she is? You picked up on her name, huh? She's a practitioner of Taito. She's the one who taught me. I thought so. Kayla, have you also been trained in the Taito style? No, although I do admire Eastern martial arts and swordsmanship. Pursuing those arts requires serious dedication and investment of one's time. I admire you for having reached intermediate level in the 8 leaves, 1 blade style reading. Thanks. Who's over here? Ah. It's an honor to speak with you again. We haven't had a chance to talk leisurely since we were in Esmela's garden. It's been so long. I was kinda having an identity crisis when we last met. Somehow, we've always been too busy to really talk. Yeah, true. Damn, all the generals here are strong as hell. You managed to hold off McBurn all on your own in Langrock Canyon. That's pretty damn awesome. My father fought McBurn as well, though he seemed alright at the time. The damage his body suffered manifested later. Have you noticed anything similar? No, luckily, I seem to be perfectly fine. I don't think it's because McBurn was going easy on me. He seemed dead set on inflicting as much pain as possible. I think he might have been particularly vicious when he was fighting Viscount Arcade. I was worried about Wallace too. Good to know he's okay. It would be nice to have a friendly duel with him one day. Well, is that you, Schwarzer? You look awfully serious. The situation's pretty clear. At least I finally have a sense of what direction I should be heading in. I've got my allies to thank for that, and for lending me their strength. That's good. Guys, you seem to have gotten used to your powers. Barkhorn was a legend, there's no doubt about that. But I think you'll be another. That's kind of you to say so. I hope it won't sound patronizing, but I've been concerned about you. I see now that I needn't have worried. You're doing well for yourself, and you'll go far if you keep it up. You know how to build my confidence. I appreciate it. They both studied under Barkhorn. I'm thankful they've got a good relationship. I should speak to Cassius soon. Oh, there you are. Introducing yourself to all the important people, are you? Well, I thought it wouldn't hurt. What are you up to? Not much, we're merely standing around. I've been on the ship before, I've seen all there is to it. Anyway, the talks will soon be over, so I might as well wait here. There's something bothering her. She's not hiding it very well, is she? It's about that man from the bird, Cassius. She's been acting funny around him. Oh, I get it. He's a master of the eight leaves one blade style. He used to go by the nickname Divine Blade. Hey, what are you talking about behind my back? It's rude to exclude people from a conversation when you're right there with you. When they're right. Sorry about that. How are you doing, Rosine? Is everything okay? More or less. I received a report of some horrible activity from High Seat when I was on the way here. Nothing's happened yet though. By the way, has there been some type of incident in the holy city of Arteria? I think Emma mentioned something about that too. Vita might know more about it, but as luck would have it, she's not here. Ah yes. Maybe she'll turn up eventually. Maybe, but as for me, I'm happy she's keeping a distance. I can relax without her annoying presence setting my teeth on edge. Enjoy it while you can. Should I ask the staff to fetch you a saucer of warm milk? Good idea. Thanks, Rosine. A half an hour of shots. And even more waiting. Sounds like the meeting's over.
Oh, you there, young man.
You're Reen Schwarzer, correct?
Yes, that's right. I'm honored to make your acquaintances.
As am I. Stories of the Ashen Chevalier have certainly made their rounds across Calvert. Though I suppose not all of those stories paint you in the best light.
That's perfectly understandable. However, I hear you single-handedly destroyed a number of our tanks and gunships without killing those within. It was quite a feat which spiked my curiosity. I see why Lady Mildine, Princess Alphine and General Gwyn hold you in such high esteem. Thank you for the compliment. Please accept my apologies about your tanks. It was nothing personal. You've also played a part in the Northern War, didn't you? I'm afraid around Northumbria I have been on friendly terms for quite a long time. It pains me greatly we could not do anything to help them. Your involvement contributed to a significant reduction in casualties among their citizens, though. You give me too much credit. I wasn't acting alone. No need to be so humble. I heard stories about you from refugees who fled to Remiferia when Northumbria was incorporated into the Erebonian Empire. Modesty is a fine trait, but it starts to great when people downplay it. Acknowledge your importance. You're the person whose actions may very well decide the fate of the world after all. There's no plenty of time until there. If you'd like to chat some more, I'll be in my room. Since the acting Duke of Brea and the fellow from the inspectorate are here, why not invite them along as well? I've already informed them. I will also be retiring to my room until dinner. Feel free to come and see me if you wish. I'd like to speak with Lloyd too. I'll go and tell him.
I was wondering when we'd finally get the chance to meet.
Lieutenant General Bright, I've heard much about you from Master Kafai. I don't think I've had the chance to introduce myself to you either, Your Highness. I'm Reen Schwarzer, son of Baron Theo Schwarzer and disciple of the 8 Leaves One Blade School. I currently work as an instructor for Thor's Military Academy's branch campus. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintances.
Oh, no. The pleasure is all mine, I assure you. In a way, this feels closer to a reunion than a first meeting. Perhaps it's due to all the tales I've heard about you from Tita and Josette. And from Prince Olivert as well.
I am honored to hear that. What happened to Olivert was truly heartbreaking. He had his grand vision, you see. It wasn't only with Erebonia's best interests in mind, but those of the entire continent. Yes, he was a great man. Victor and Toval were good friends of mine as well. Their deaths have dealt a heavy blow to Erebonia. I'd even say it was felt by the whole continent. But now we must carry on without them. Even if that involves committing to something they most certainly would have never approved of. Huh? If you'd like, why don't you stop by to chat for a bit before dinner? Cassius, you wanted to talk to Estelle, didn't you? Yes, and the others as well. Ren, Tita, Agate. Please do come along, Ren. We could reminiscence about Master Carfire together. I'll definitely stop by.
Oh, Reen! There you are!
Hello, Princess Alphin. Are you alright? Of course. I was a little shocked about the topics of discussion, but I suppose it's good we were able to talk about all those pressing issues. Princess? I see. I'm sorry I couldn't reveal the intended scale when I invited you, Princess. I trust you understand this was an inevitable reality. Your presence here was of the utmost importance. Yes, I'm well aware of my responsibilities. With neither father nor my brothers available, it falls to me to represent the Imperial family and remain informed of the current situation. Would you be so kind as to share some of that information with us at dinner? That's the plan. We could use more input on the matters at hand. We'll all be cooperating, of course. Brisa is the special support section, and representatives of Towers should make their voices heard too. We need to know where they intend to position themselves in Operations Yomaganda and Mille Mirage. Dinner won't be served for a while though. Princess Alphin, Elise, why don't you join me for tea? You may join as well, Instructor, but the topic of discussion will most likely not interest you, given how easily you embarrass. I can never tell if you're joking, Missy, but tea sounds good to me. Yes, count me in too. Oh, maybe Claudia could join us. Yes, I'll extend an invitation to her. Instructor Reen, will you be coming? Please do. If you insist, I'll see you in a bit. Alright. There's still some time to chat with the attendees before dinner. I might want to speak with the President and Prince Albert. There's Lieutenant General Bright too. People have moved to new locations. The main story will progress once you see the required sub-events. Some optional content will become available once you progress in the story. Does that mean I'll be able to start going everywhere else? There's nothing the other way. Everything's over here. Alright, let's check this one first. Someone's talking on the other side of the door. Wowzers, an exclusive interview like this sure makes my day. What are your thoughts on the development since the trade conference 2 years ago? And what's your take on the recent incidents in the Principality? I've answered those questions for the ardent press before. Grace, was it? Listen, Grace, it's all very well that you're so motivated, but you should think your questions through beforehand. Someone would hurt that much more being told off by a stunningly beautiful woman. Sounds like they're in the middle of a spirited conversation. Anyway, let's visit the Lobo waiting room for now. President Rocksmith, in your opinion, how's the prognosis for Calvert looking? Not too bad, I'd say, for now. Lady Mildean's sharp intellect is surely something to be feared, isn't it? The situation being as it is, I'm determined to see things true on my end. President Rocksmith, what the new party does with the country once it's in their hands, though, I really couldn't say. I might have some information that could be of interest to you. Rocksmith's term is nearly over. I shouldn't interrupt the conversation. I'll come back a bit later. Just over here. Chloe, how are you? I'm well, thanks. I haven't seen you in 3 months. Good to see you again, Joshua, Ren. And you guys. Been a while. Tita and I saw you in Grand Cell before we set off to Erebonia. I'm so happy to see you again. It was the same for us, but we headed to Calvert instead. How is the Queen? Oh, very well, thanks for asking after her. She couldn't have attended with all the attention around her right now. That's why she sent me in her stead. I see. She needed someone trustworthy to represent her. But if these talks are so crucial, why didn't Julia and C come too? I imagine some urgent matters kept them busy. Sieg hardly has a moment to spare working as a messenger. I see. Based off that, I suppose I have an idea of what's going on. Yeah. I doubt people were just making small talk over tea and biscuits in there. Can you share anything with us, Dad? We haven't seen each other in half a year, and it's straight to business with. Neither hello nor. I suppose a father can't hope for love and affection from his daughter when she's left the nest and become independent. Don't guilt trip me for not being sugary sweet. You seem well anyway. You too, Sunshine. Joshua, everything alright? Yes, all's going well. So you're close bodyguard today, Dad. Oh, don't tell me that's all you're here for. I won't believe it. Well, have some patience. Everything will be revealed soon enough. Ren, did you get taller? You've grown a lot since I last saw you. I'm only taller by 5, Reg. I'll catch up with Tita at this rate. No, please don't. It took me so long to stop looking like a kid. Don't worry, Tita. You're still growing. You're only 16. Estelle just joined the Baristas when she was your age. It feels like it was only yesterday we were traveling around the world together. I was a Sky Bandit back then. You might be older now, Estelle, but you're as happy as good lucky as ever. I said the worst thing in the world, is it? As for you, Gisette, even grown up, you never lost that little urchin attitude. It's a part of my personal identity, you see. Tita, I hear you've been making a name for yourself. Your grandfather had nothing but praise for you. Apparently, though, your mom worries about you a lot. She's just a worrywart. I write her a lot to let her know I'm fine. I already messaged her to tell her everything's okay. She mentioned something about Agate getting his comeuppance next time she sees him too. She said she was drafting a new research project involving human test subjects. What? Mom. It's like the good old times again. That reminds me, Estelle. Did you see Zin when you were in Calvert? I did. It was just before I came to Arabonia. He asked me to pass messages for him to my dad and a few others. Oh, brilliant. They've got lots to talk about. I don't want to interrupt their fun. I should come back later. That's not happening. Oh, hello, Instructor Reen. Reen, so sorry. We were so caught up in catching up, we didn't mean to exclude you. Don't be shy, boy. Come and join us. Sure, if you don't mind. You seem to be enjoying yourselves, but that's no surprise when good friends get together. They bonded during the Orwell shutdown phenomenon. It's regrettable Oliver is no longer with us, and Shirzad has gone missing as well. Regardless, we must stay focused on what's ahead of us and try to remain optimistic. Wise words. By the way, I'm happy to see you, Reen. Master Kafa has been telling me about you. This young man has even more potential than you, Cassius. I am sure that's not true. He must have been teasing you. Besides, there are so many complicating factors now. Oh, are you speaking of your background? I've heard of it, and I'm aware of the cause of your altered appearance too. Don't worry too much about what you can't change, Reen. By the way, I got a letter about you a month ago from a certain man on an eastward journey. You don't mean Master Kafai? But I was still imprisoned then. Yes, so I hear. Oddly enough, it was foretold in the letter. Whether it was prophecy or just a wild guess, I cannot tell. A frighteningly accurate prediction. What was the letter about exactly? That's the thing, Reen. In the light of the current situation, I'm afraid I cannot tell you yet. Huh? It's not the right time nor place. But to give you a rough idea, the letter regards mastery of your school of swordsmanship. In this time of turbulence, become that flashing blade which illuminates the darkness, even if for the briefest of moment. Once I have returned from the east and we have reunited, I shall impart to you my final teachings. The forms our master passed on to me are the first helix and the seventh void. You, however, seem to be trying to touch on all seven forms, and in doing so go beyond even void. You understand how difficult such a feat is. Of course, with the way I am now, I am not confident I could ever achieve it. But you're right, this isn't the place to discuss it. Just keep it in mind. We'll come back to it later. I'll relay our master's message for you once the circumstances are right. We've yet to see where today's talks lead to, but a time when great determination and sacrifice are needed is no doubt to come. I'll be ready for it. They got on like a house on fire. Yeah, you couldn't tell they've only just met. Having something unique in common like their fighting style brings people together. I'm feeling a bit jealous now. Looks like we're the outsiders. I totally get that though. Agate, are you feeling left out too? Nah, why would I care? Excuse me for butting in, I'm from the Crossbell Times. Could you please spare some time for a really quick interview? Your Grace, serious about your job, I see. I bet Niall and Dorothy gave you their list of questions for the attendees too. Cassius and Claudia agreed to an interview. Rena and the others excuse themselves to give them some privacy. Everyone's been moving around. There's still some time to chat with the attendees before dinner. People have moved in new locations again. They made several progress once you see the required sub-events. Some optional content will become unavailable once you progress in the story. I got a few more notes. Claudia, I'm terribly sorry about earlier. I was so taken aback I lost my composure. Thank you for being so kind to me. Oh, of course, considering the subject, it was no wonder you became agitated. You have the huge responsibility on your shoulders as a representative of the Imperial family. Thank you for being so understanding. Now that rings alarm bells. I'll just wait for the announcement at dinner and try not to worry for now, but... Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Mr. Bright, member of the Bull Bracer Guild. It's a great honor to meet you in person, Princess Alphin. There's no need to be so formal with me. I've heard so much about you from my brother. I feel like we're already friends. Oliver was a dear friend, but what happened to him was a terrible shock. He went out of his way to get permission for me and Joshua to visit Hamel once things had settled down in LeBeau. When we heard what happened to him, we were all so heartbroken and angry. Me, Joshua, Shara, we all wished there was something we could have done to stop it. But I'm sure all our grief is nothing compared to what you must be going through. Still, thank you for having been a good friend to my brother. I feel a little better knowing there were people who cared so much about him. Oliver was a very thoughtful and brave man, and a lot of fun to be around. When I was hesitant about whether to accept my duty as a crown princess, he gave me the push I needed. He also fostered friendly relations between Erebonia and LeBeau. Despite his airhead appearance, he was a smart leader. Thank you, Claudia. He teased me for being so easily moved to tears. He'd come out with a line like, "At a time such as this, I'd like you to be the ray of sunshine which makes courage bloom." That does sound like him. Regrettably, I never had the chance to meet Prince Oliver in person. However, I heard about him encouraging greater integration and cooperation between all nations of the continent. Please accept my sincere condolences, Princess Alphin. Thank you, Lucy. By the way, you were Claudia's upperclassman at school, weren't you? Really? Oh my gosh. Actually, Claude did tell us about that lector person before. Does that mean... That's correct. I went to LeBeau to study at Janice Royal Academy. I was on the student council together with Lecter Arundel. You two looked after me really well back then. It made my school life that much more enjoyable. What a small world. He's an Ironblood and a member of the Intelligence Division. He's a stranger person than I thought. But wait, the famously beautiful vice president who would force the student council president to listen to her no matter what. That'd be me, Chloe. I wish you didn't spread exaggerated rumors about me. Sorry, but they're not exaggerated at all. Even now, I can't forget that time you... were asked about the most important thing in the world and responded with strength. Now you're just trying to... That was a typo. Wait, did I really just say... Not directly. I overheard your conversation with Hans. So you were following me around and listening on my conversations with other students. I wouldn't have guessed they knew each other so well. Although it was so beloved by people from different backgrounds, it's a real shame he died so young. I'd be curious to hear more about Claudia and Lucy's school life, too. Now Lecter stands on the opposite side of his former classmates. I'm sure I'll cross paths with him again, and with Claire too. More notes. Sorry, Rin. Here we are talking among ourselves again, leaving you out. I can get going, free up some space. No, please don't leave on my account. You haven't seen each other in a while. I'm sure you have a lot to talk about. Getting to exchange a few words with you in person has already been a great honor. With luck, we'll meet again and have a longer chat then. You're too humble, Rin. Indeed. That reminds me, weren't you one of the testers for the Global Communication Network? I also got a test account from Ren. What would you say to exchanging network addresses? Are you sure? Why not? Don't be shy. Princess Claudia doesn't limit her circle of friends to the upper classes. When she enrolled at the academy, she did so under an assumed name in order to be treated like any normal girl. Lucy, I don't need a spokesperson. Okay, in that case, I'll gladly give you my network address. It shouldn't become a diplomatic issue if we're just playing a game together, I hope. You can now play Pom Pom Party against Princess Claudia. And I'm going to.
Let us begin.
Alright.
My sincerest congratulations.
Alright, that was easy. Alright. I'll end here because I know this is going to take some time. Right.